Right, good morning, people. Sorry I'm running a wee bit late. Something came up and I had to dash out. So I do apologise for that. So I'll put my cell phone in the naughty state, shall I? Thanks, Lorraine, very much. No hungry kids go on our watch in Scotland. Thank you. Right, who's in? Good morning, Kirsty. Good morning, Mel. Good morning, Rosie. Morning, Lorraine. Good morning, John Baxter. Neil McLean. Doug. Kirsty. A bit slow this morning. Morning, Stephen. Morning, Margaret. Morning, wee Bird. Morning, Robert. Morning, Henry. Aye, Charlie's there. Morning, John. Morning, Rosie again. Morning, Ange. As I say, I do apologise I'm a little late, folks. As I say, something came up, I had to dash out. Thought I would be back in time. But hey, well, that's just the way it happens, I'm afraid. Well, morning, William. Morning, Kevin. How are you today? Right. Let's go on with it, shall we? As we're running a wee bit late. First up this morning's the Herald. What's the Herald got for us? Now this one cracks me up, folks. Anyway, Shipyard recruits foreign welders in skills shortage. And it tells us that Babcock blames lack of training courses on having to hire 300 Filipino welders. I thought, Babcock, we'll get to that in the next paper, all right? But apparently we're not training enough welders, folks. Apparently we're not training enough welders. Right, next up this morning we've got a Scotsman. What's the Scotsman got for us this morning? Well, that's on the same story, folks. And it's interesting that Babcock's complaining at Disney have enough welders in Scotland and it needs to hire for out with. Now, it blames training courses. Well, to be fair, since deindustrialisation, we haven't needed so many heavy metal workers. But to have Babcock complain about no enough welders, why didn't they fucking train them? It's their business. If they know they're going to need welders, fucking train them. Wow. Complaining about the government, no training. It's their business. They need welders. Fucking train them yourself. Wow. You couldn't make it up. You really couldn't. They're one of the few businesses still running heavy industry in the UK, and they haven't trained any fucking welders. Wow. Absolutely mental. Next up, we've got their answered. We don't put their answered up, and it's got first gang war conviction. And apparently Liam McDonald, 25, was caught trying to find a discarded gun with a metal detector. So he's going to clink, and the Sun's on the same story, but it tells us that he works for a Miami-based mafia boss. All right, so that's enough of the nonsense for the two rags that are comics rather than newspapers, and we'll move on to the Guardian. Sorry if I'm a wee bit flustered this morning. As I say, something come up I had to deal with. Thank you, Alistair. Only one headline in English papers, one in, one out. We'll get there. We'll get there. What's the Guardian got for us today? Well, the Guardian's got fresh turmoil as candidate for chair quits toxic grooming gang inquiry. Now, folks, this one, when I seen it this morning, really annoyed me. Let me read that out again and then I'll correct it. Fresh turmoil as candidate for chair quits toxic grooming gang inquiry. Let me fix that. Fresh turmoil as candidate for chair quits. So, candidate quits? No, let me fix that. Candidate for chair refuses job and toxic grooming gang inquiry. Candidates don't quit. They haven't been fucking hired yet. They're a candidate. That is a nonsense fucking headline. The person didn't have the job in the first place, so they couldn't have quit. They've just said to whoever was offered the job, no thank you, I'll go elsewhere. That sort of nonsense is why the English people are being dumbed down. But what's more importantly, once again, in The Guardian, England only story. It's supposed to be the Guardian Scottish publication. Why is there an English only story on the front fucking page? Fucking nonsense. Apart from an absolutely stupid, nonsensical headline, the story's not even applicable in the place where the paper's being fucking sold. Don't see the Guardian doing well in Scotland, do you? Haven't they got a fucking clue? Nearly have. Oh, by the way, it's 7 degrees, clear at the moment, rain in the forecast, humidity's at 93%, wind, fart strength, pollen, none. That's what it's like here in Southern North Lanarkshire. I know it's like with you. Look at your own bloody windy. All right. Let's move on to the Times. What nonsense has the Times got for us this morning? The Times has grooming victims say ministers should quit. Apparently, in England, because this is an England only story, even though it says Times Scotland at the top of the page, apparently the people who had been groomed, the witnesses, had been silenced. So they've also walked out on the inquiry, claiming that the minister hasn't kept her word and should quit. A Labour minister not keeping her word. That's no quitting offence. Labour haven't kept her word and fuck all. No the 10 pledges. No the 5 promises or missions? Nothing. But once again, the Times Scotland, it clearly says at the top of the page, just in case it's no, that made it worse. The Times Scotland, we're England only story. Fucking no real. That's what's wrong with the media, folks. Right, now we're on to the Only Rag the Express. What's the Only Rag the Express got for us this morning? Well, the same as the next 2 or 3 papers, actually. 1 in, 1 out. Sorry, it's 1 in, 1 out and back in again as part of 60,000 channel arrivals under PM. They're blaming Starmer for it, of course, but we know it's no. It was Brexit, it was the Tories and Farage. But here's the thing, folks. They're continuing with this 1 in, 1 out lie. I did the sums. On average, 100 people arrive a day. Not every day, but when you average it out, 100 people, 101 actually, arrive a day. So it's 3,030 a month. The scheme started at the end of June. First deportations took, end of July, end of August. First deportations happened in September. That was 16. Up until now, there's been 42 out and 3,000 in. This scheme's only due to run until June 2026. At the current rate, it'll be 30,008 in and 338 out. How can that be 1 in, 1 out? No wonder there is no trust in politics when you've got them calling a scheme that is 71.4 in for every 1 out. How could you call that 1 in, 1 out? As I say, it's no hard to work it out, folks. You go and ask the government how many arrive on average per day, and they average it out over a year, and it comes to 101 per day. Now, it's been 50 days since the scheme came in. That's 5,000 in and 42 out. Unbelievable. 1 in, 1 out, is it? When you do the numbers, folks, up until when the scheme finishes, it works out 30,008 people in and 338 people out at a rate of 42 per month. And it isn't actually 42 per month. It's 42 since the scheme opened at the end of June, July, August. At the end of August. So we're almost 2 months in, and there's only been 42 people out, but there's been 5,000 in, and they're calling it one in, one out. No wonder there's no trust in politicians, because it was Starmer that named the fucking scheme one in, one out. But we all know what a dirty liar he is, as well as being a child-killing fucker. Starving them here in the UK and assisting in massacring them in Gaza. Next up we have the Tory graph. And the Tory graph has the very same headline. One in, one out, and back in again. So what's happened is the 42 people out of 5,000 in that were sent back to France have all got on a fucking boat and come back again. So this one in, one out scheme's really gone down well, eh? You send them back, they get to Cali, or they get to wherever they're sent back to, they make their way back to Cali, get in a boat and come back again. As if that wasn't foreseeable. Because they're talking about thousands of pounds to cross the channel. My arse. Tell you can buy a decent dinghy with an outboard motor for £1,000. End of. So £1,000, you're not selling tickets at thousands of quid. You think people who are in these camps don't fucking know what it's costing this mob to get boats. Right, that was a Telegraph. Next one up's the Metro, and it's on the same nonsense again. If I read one in, one out, one more time when it's 71.4 in for one out, it's fucking nuts. That sort of thing really grinds my gears. One in, one out, and then back in again. There you go. Who couldn't foresee that happening? Who couldn't foresee that? I'll tell you who couldn't foresee that happening. Fucking idiot in number 10 couldn't foresee that happening. But it was the idiot in number 10 that said one in, one out when it's fucking one in, 71. Sorry, it's 71.4 in and one out. It's nonsense. And I say that sort of nonsense and that sort of deception being perpetrated in our press, I find disgusting. I would stay in France and all, Rosie. But a few times I've thought about up sticks and get back to Germany, actually. So that was a Metro, one in, one out, my arse. Next up, we'll get the fail. What's the fail goat for us this morning? Well, this is a cracker. And it tells us that the Nationalists will pick a fight with Westminster. Cynical SNP are at it over Trump police cost round. Never know. Police and state visits isn't in the Scottish budget. These guys weren't on a state visit, apparently. But what was Starmer doing spending fucking his whole weekend in Trump's pocket? Is that no official? No. Was Starmer just on a jolly? Well, the answer to this one's quite simple. If they're not going to cough up, next time Trump, Vance, or any dignitary on a visit to this, comes to Scotland, just don't police it. Just tell them you're here as a private citizen. Pay for your own fucking security. End of story. Which is what they should have done in the first fucking place, rather than having a row. It should be made clear that this wasn't a state visit and they should cover their own fucking costs. End of story. But if Starmer spent all his time with him, that's about as state a visit as you can get, an official visit as you can get. So it should be paid for by Westminster. But hey, apparently cynical SNP are at it over Trump police cost rounds. No, they're not. But the answer's simple. Next time he touches down, no police. Next time any foreign dignitary touches down, no police. Simple as that. Next time Starmer comes to Scotland, no police. And by the way, if they decide to send police up for Scotland to protect these people, you can have a go if you want, folks. There's no fucking jurisdiction in Scotland. Just tell them to get fucked. You've no restrictions. And if they try to prevent you speaking to the #1 public servant, tell them to get the fuck. They've no jurisdiction in Scotland. Hi, Reg. Right, what's up next? The National. What's the National vote for us this morning? Well, the National's got no bad headline this morning, actually. Extreme violence. Police Scotland use excessive restrictions to protect the interests of arms firms during Palestine protests, says new report. This is a report out for a couple of different bodies who monitor police behaviour, and they tell us that the police use brutality in order to curtail the activities of a protest outside an arms firm. Right, now this one here, indirect plan would be treated seriously, concedes Alexander. We'll talk a wee bit more about that this afternoon. Two Davies show. And Labour seek out Scottish nuclear sites. And this is this Ed Miliband thinks that Labour's going to win the Scottish election, so he's looking at sites to put nuclear reactors in Scotland. Good luck with that, Ed. And I'll tell you what, folks, if Labour do win that election in Scotland, there has to be a fucking steward's inquiry. And I mean a proper steward's inquiry, a police investigation, or even a panel of civic people to do a proper investigation. Because at this point in time, Labour's no chance of winning. We can see the papers going all out to smear the SNP, but it's no washing with the people. It's no washing with the people. Morning, Larry. Sausage fingers are still like going, is he? Yeah, well, next up we'll get the eye. And this one really is. One that could see Rachel for your accounts right in the shite. But it wouldn't surprise me. Raise income tax, Reeves urged as Labour budget split emerges. Well, Labour's pledged not to raise income tax. So we can bet your boots income tax is going up. And Ed's to shut up and eat his bacon sandwich, isn't he? I think you'll find it was a butty, Sir Larry. But hey-oh. But will Rachel Reeves put up income tax in breach of her pledge not to? Well, Labour broke every other pledge, promise, mission, whatever the fuck they're calling it the day, to the people. So Reeves backtracking on her own words would not surprise me. Not surprise me in the slightest. Because so far they haven't held themselves to any single thing that they said. Nothing that they said. Even the workers' rights bill hasn't fucking materialised. There it is. And when it does, it'll be well watered down. But as I say, there's some really annoying headlines. The Guardian was way out there this morning. Way out there. A candidate quits. Candidates don't quit, they refuse jobs. You can see how it hurt me, folks. And it's no wonder the people of England are getting dumbed down with this nonsense in their press. Bad enough we have to put up with propaganda, but at least it's fucking, the grammar's decent. Wow. Aye, please hit the like button, folks. It helps the algorithm. Morning, early chaos. Scotland's supposed to have a say in environment and planning. It's reserved. Ed Miliband might be looking at sites, but he isn't going to get anywhere unless Labour get into power in Holyrood, and they ain't getting into power in Holyrood. And planning and environment is devolved. Excuse me. Wee sip of my coffee. Right, let's get the star up as we're rapidly running out of time. Someone's been unfaithful. Aye, that would be the king. Traitor at the Beeb. Well, Pacific Quay's full of fucking traitors. You know, that might be the most honest headline we've ever seen in a paper. Where the fuck did that go? Oh, where did it? What happened there? I don't know, I'll go and grab that newspaper headline again, folks, because I wasn't finished talking about it. But obviously it's TV nonsense. I've heard of this thing, traitors. It's been on the it's been on the radio in the morning. This paper's just told us it's a BBC programme. I didn't know. But let's put it back up again to read it again. Because this one cracked me up, because I didn't think about television when I seen it this morning. Someone's been unfaithful. The first thing that popped into my head is, aye, the fucking king's been unfaithful. And traitor at the BBC. First thing that popped into my head was, of course, the Pacific Quay. It's full of fucking traitors. But apart from that, folks, it's a TV commentary and the third comic, the Star. But as I don't watch TV, I didn't bother looking into it. I have no idea what it's about, and I really don't care. And apparently, TV chiefs are battling to keep the result under wraps. Whatever is it? So is it a game show? Well, in fact, don't bother. I don't want to fucking know. I really don't want to know. But hey, as I say, someone's been unfaithful. Aye, the king and traitors at the Beeb, or traitor at the Beeb. There's a fucking whole building for them along there in Pacific Quay. They're all traitors to Scotland. Okay. Right, need to go. I've got a short video to put together for somebody else, so I need to go. Nah, but boffins are a bit light in the ground, Larry. Nobody tell you. Wee Govey sort of banished them into the background because apparently nobody wants to hear from experts anymore. The fucking shows down that road. Yeah, shows. Right. That's it. Until we're back this afternoon. But I've got a quick video to put together for somebody else, so I'll catch you later, folks. Bye for now. Oh, and I did a wee short yesterday. I'll be doing a lot more of them as we run into this election. So you've got more than one of me a day. And hopefully Mr. Milligan will start making shorts and putting them out and all.